Imagine getting caught driving drunk. Not once, not twice, but 5 times, and still walking out of court with probation. How does the justice system handle repeat offenders? This case will shock you.
25 CR 989, the state of Texas versus Charles Edward Amberg III. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Present with Mr. Macon, your attorney, and the state's attorney. Does the defendant, oh boy, waive a full reading of this indictment? Can we instead proceed by summary?
Yes, John.
In summary, Mr. Amberg, paragraph 1 of this indictment alleges that on or about May 17th, 2025 in Jefferson County, Texas, you operated a motor vehicle in a public place while intoxicated. DWI. Do you understand what you're charged with there?
Yes, sir.
If it only ended there, you wouldn't be in this court. You would be in a lesser level court. But paragraph 2 goes on to allege, and this is disturbing here, that you have 4, not 2, and it only takes 2 prior DWI convictions to make a 3rd-degree felony for the 3rd one. This is, from what I understand, at least your 5th one. And that's too much. That's too much. It states that in 1985, you were convicted out of County Court at Law number 3 for Jefferson County, Texas, for a DWI. December 15th, 1988, 3 years later, you were convicted out of County Court Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, for the DWI. 10 years later, in 1998, you were convicted next door in the 252nd Criminal District Court of Jefferson County, Texas. That was a felony then. And then in 2014 here, in my court, the court I preside over is the People's Court, the Criminal District Court, you were convicted of another 3rd-degree felony of a DWI. So you have been subject to 3rd-degree felony punishment, well, since 1998, 2 convictions ago. This is disturbing. Would you agree?
Sure.
Can you hear okay? Because I couldn't help but notice that you were having a hard time listening to the lady here, my
Yes,
coordinator. Ben, you're having a hard time listening to me, and no one ever thinks I speak softly. They think I speak sometimes in a booming voice sometimes. No. Generally, the first felony stops people from committing this crime because they don't want to go to prison. This is happening too often, sir. He said to the policeman that he had 1 beer. What was the blood test? I don't have any information on it.
0.235.
Oh, 235. 3 times the legal limit. That beer had to have been 5 gallons, a 5-gallon beer, at least. That's 3 times the legal limit. 3 times too much. Do you understand what is charged here in these paragraphs of this indictment?
Yes, sir.
This constitutes a 3rd-degree felony, sir, which means if convicted, you face a term of not more than 10 years or less than 2 years in prison. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
An agreement has been reached in your case where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 10 years in prison. Again, I think this is probably the 3rd time this has happened. Then that would be suspended. You would be placed on regular probation for 10 years. There would be terms and conditions of probation, which are normal and customary for this type of offense. And then I see here is a recommendation of 20 days in jail. You've been twice ordered to do 10 days in jail on the previous convictions.
One from 2014, Your Honor. It was he was actually convicted of a lesser included Class B misdemeanor on that one.
Say it again.
The October 13, 2014, cause number 13-17984. He was actually convicted of the lesser included Class B misdemeanor.
What happened there? Why did that happen? After that was his 4th conviction. So he only has 1 felony conviction out of the 252nd.
That's correct.
Why in the world would that have been reduced? I'm surprised MAD didn't come, which is what they take care of. I mean, and I support them 100%. You don't get lesser exposure to criminality by committing subsequent similar crimes. The punishment supposed to go up. Anyway, you have 2 or more prior DWI convictions. So this constitutes a 3rd-degree felony. And you were looking at no less than 2, no more than 10 years confinement in prison, and a fine up to $10,000 can be assessed. And I read what the plan was. It's essentially 10 years in prison, probate that, or 10 years. And there would be terms and conditions of probation, which were similar to the other 4 probations I presume you were on. Were all these probations, or did you just do time on some of these misdemeanors? Do you remember?
You remember if you did time?
You have the prior convictions, right?
Yes, sir.
What does it show, please?
I did. Mistakes? Yeah. I did, on the 252nd, Mr. Giblin, I did 7 years probation. I did, intoxilizer in my truck, Smart Start for, 7 years and 300 hours community service. The last one I got back in 2013 or 14, it was 2 years probation and several hours, 100 hours, I believe, for the community service. A couple of $2,000 fine for her. I completed the probation both times in the community service and paid my fine. And I had the intoxilizer the second time. The last time I had one, 2013, I believe it was. The final disposition was in 2014. I think I got the DWI in 2013, but the final disposition was in 2014. 2 years probation, and I had the intoxilizer for I think 3 years, sir. I've got an intoxilizer in my truck.
Well, that was a condition of bond.
Sir?
That was a condition of your bond.
Yes, sir.
You were arrested this time.
Yes, sir.
But it's not because you want to do it. It was because it was ordered. And so this is at least we're dealing with your fifth DWI this time. Correct? This is your 5th one today.
Yes, sir.
Well, do you have from this?
Yes, Your Honor. He got 20 days on one of the misdemeanors,
What- that's not
60 days. That's County Court at Law number 311. That was from 1985.
Okay, that's the first one here of the 4.
April 1998. That's in
No, that's just where's the 1988's conviction out of County Court at Law 2, 137400.
20 days in 1988.
And in 1998, 75346, the 252nd.
7 years probated for a term of 7 years.
I guess he had to spend some time in jail. And then we get to the 2014, and that was reduced to a misdemeanor. And what did he receive?
Suspended. He received a 180 days jail that was suspended, and he was placed on community supervision.
There was a requirement, I think, if it's a misdemeanor, then at least 3 days.
They're normally giving credit.
Yes. Oh, they don't. They actually don't go into jail. They just give them.
Sometimes they do.
Really?
If they have a good lawyer.
Well, I mean, it's a mandatory 3 days. How can they get credit if they didn't serve the time? Uh-oh, you're
When
looking
they, when they get arrested.
That's one.
I think the count is 3.
at, they counted for 3. So I'm not sure that the people who are advocates of this against this kind of behavior, I feel like that's all right. Because all right, is that okay? All right. So again, you're looking at a 3rd-degree felony, and you would be found guilty, sentenced to 10 years in prison. That would be suspended, and you would be probated for 10 years, $500 fine. You understand all of this?
Yes, sir.
If I follow this agreement, placing you on probation for, I guess, a 5th time. Is that right? Is he in probation on all those other?
That's correct.
Then you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand? If I follow this agreement,
Yes, sir.
how do you plead this guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
So you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty.
Yes, sir.
And paragraph 2, which recites 4 prior convictions of operating motor vehicles while intoxicated, 4, and at least one of them being a felony out of those 4. Are those allegations true and correct as they are alleged?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true voluntarily and because these allegations in this indictment are all true and correct?
That is true, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 exhibit here to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this 3rd-degree felony of operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated. And following this agreement, you were hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. That is suspended. You were placed on regular probation for 10 years. You must pay a fine of $500. There will be terms and conditions of probation, which are normal and customary for this type of offense. You must have an auto ignition interlock system in any vehicle you operate. You must complete a Texas DWI repeat offender program. Everybody buckle up. You're going to go to jail for a while. This is your 5th DWI. You have been placed in jail 4 separate times before, and you are still out there driving while intoxicated. It's a 4,000-pound missile. It has to be operated soberly and responsibly. And 3 times the legal limit is not responsible behavior. You're asking for, when I assess this, to do it on weekends. Why is that? Anything from the state? Because I'm about to drop it.
No, Your Honor.
180 days. You can do it in successive weekends. It'll take forever. But at least you won't be on the roadway putting people in harm's way. The 4 previous convictions did not deter you. And we're just lucky that somebody wouldn't, if there wasn't an accident where people were injured or killed. This is irresponsible behavior. And I know people, the judges have talked to you in the past, but you're still doing it, sir. You've been dealing with DWI charges and convictions since 1985. So you're going to do 180 days. And that's going to take a long time. You're going to have to report in the jail on or before 6:00 p.m. every Friday. They will release you 2 days later so you can be able to work. You're talking about, at that rate, 90 weekends, almost 2 years, every weekend. I'm really considering just ordering you not to operate a motor vehicle, which I think I could do. I don't see anything in the Constitution that thinks you have a right to drive. But shame on everybody involved the next time this happens. Do you attend an Alcoholics Anonymous? You're going to. I'm going to throw you in that too. That's important. I think they're helpful. All right, Mr. Edward, please see the probation officer. He will go over everything and we will begin probation.
This isn't just a story about the law. It's a warning about choices, consequences, and accountability. If you want to see more real-life courtroom stories that reveal the truth behind the headlines, hit that subscribe button now and join us. Don't miss what happens next.